I'm going to model for you how I find the product of two fractions using a number line, an area, and the traditional method with standard numbers. The first way I'm going to model for you is using the number line. You'll see here that I have a number line that I have already cut into 5 pieces. That's because when I find 2/3 of 4/5, I'm finding 2/3 of 4/5 of a whole. In this case, the 4/5 I'm going to note by this blue line here. That is 4/5 of my whole number line. Now I really only want 2/3 of that whole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my whole into thirds. And I'm going to cut each fractional piece into my thirds, even the piece I don't have. Now, I want 2 out of every 3. That's what 2/3 means. So what I'm going to note here on my number line is 2 out of every 3 pieces that I have. And that's noted here in the yellow. What I've just modeled for you here is that the numerators show how many pieces I have. 2/3 of the 4/5, or 8 pieces, noted in yellow. 2, 4, 6, 8. The denominator is the whole number of pieces it needs to take my entire whole if this was a complete whole. As you can see, my whole takes 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 pieces. So 2/3 of 4/5 is 8/15 of an entire whole. In an area model, you'll notice here that I have colored in 4/5 in the horizontal array. I now want to take 2/3 of that 4/5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this whole in the vertical way into thirds. But I only want 2 of those thirds, so I'm going to cross hatch 2 of the thirds in yellow here. The intersection of the 2/3 and the 4/5 is actually the product of the two fractions. So I can count up my pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that are intersected. And how many pieces make the whole? We have 5, 10, 15 pieces that would make the whole, and you'll see that again I get 8/15. Finally, I can just use my traditional algorithm here and say my numerator times my numerator is 8, and my denominator times my denominator is 15. And 2/3 of 4/5 is 8/15. Thank you for joining me.